On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu reaffirms that security and welfare of Nigerians remain the top priorities of his administration. Federal government says it will soon reveal the identities of individuals and networks financing terrorism in Nigeria. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori calls for increased resource mobilization to bridge funding gaps in HIV treatment and prevention in the state. Guinea-Bissau military bans protest and strike. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Delta Television News tonight. I am Onome Iyaruwe. You can also follow our news online on Facebook and YouTube at Delta Broadcasting Service Asaba, or visit our website on www.dbsasaba.com. Now, details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed that the security and welfare of Nigerians remain the top priorities of his administration. Speaking in Lokoja at the 10th memorial anniversary of the late Kogi State Governor, Prince Abubakar Audu, President Tinubu, represented by the Minister of Information, Alhaji Mohammed Idris, highlighted ongoing measures to strengthen national security, including expanding the capacity and capabilities of the armed forces. The President described the recent state of emergency on national security as a firm declaration against all forms of insecurity. He added that his government was actively working to modernize the livestock sector, empower youth, and boost infrastructure as part of efforts to deliver the dividends of democracy and enhance economic growth. Governor Sheriff Oborevwori has called for increased resource mobilization through corporate social responsibility initiatives and the goodwill of individuals to bridge funding gaps in HIV treatment and prevention in the state. Mora Isopa has details.
Flagging off the World AIDS Day sensitization work organized by the Delta State Agency for the Control of HIV/AIDS, the SACA, the governor, represented by the secretary to the state government, Dr. Kingsley Emu, said global support was shrinking, even as HIV/AIDS remained a major public health concern.
HIV/AIDS is ravaging globally, not just Nigeria, and its prevalence is very low. We know that they are trying to remove the assistance and support by USAID and some others. We expect that many more will join them. From the policy standpoint, we should be canvassing for additional support on how to manage HIV.
The state head of service, Dr. Mininim Oseji, noted that statistics showed higher infection rates among older men and young females, stressing the need for intensified sensitization, preventive measures, and stronger family values.
We all need to come out and advocate for healthy lifestyle, advocate for family values, advocate for family life and HIV education at all levels. Let's not wait for only the health workers. Everybody must be on board. Faith-based organization.
Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joseph Onojame, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Dr. Philomena Okewo, warned that treatment disruptions could lead to drug-resistant strains and urged persons on medication to remain consistent to avoid further spread. Executive Secretary of the SACA, Dr. Hobson Rudolph, speaking on the theme of the observance, expressed concern over dwindling international support and disruptions in messaging and funding, and called on corporate bodies, philanthropists, and local partners to help close the funding gap.
On treatment for HIV in Delta State, 52,000 people. And current prevalence suggests that about 300 new infections are picked up every month in Delta State. When we talk about the prevalence in Delta State treatment, we're talking about 1.9% of the total population. Have you done your HIV test? do you know your status? So you must know your status to be able to be linked up to treatment.
The rally took off from the State Secretariat on the Mariam Babangida Way to Interboa Roundabout and back, drawing a cross-section of stakeholders. Mora Isopa reporting.
The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has called on citizens to intensify efforts to end HIV and AIDS by 2030. In a statement on her X handle to mark the World AIDS Day, Senator Tinubu noted that Nigeria had made progress in HIV prevention, treatment and care, but urged continued commitment in ensuring every Nigerian had access to life-saving services free from stigma and discrimination. She encouraged young people to know their HIV status and seek treatment, calling on communities to support those affected. Following the President defend their budget proposals, appearing before the House Clerks and Special Projects chaired by Honorable Obreo, the Director General of the Delta State Direct Labor Agency, Honorable Emmanuel Igomena, presented a detailed breakdown of the agency's activities for the year under review. Honorable Igomena also highlighted key road projects expected to be executed in the coming year. The committee chairman, Honorable Oboro Preyo, commended the agency for its efforts and assured it of the committee's continued collaboration in enhancing service delivery. Other ministries that defended their budgets before the relevant House committees were the Ministry of Special Projects, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, the Delta State Development Agency, Ministry of Justice, and the Ministry of Urban Renewal. The state government has urged the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, and unions involved in quarry operations to work closely with their local government chairmen to prevent avoidable conflicts. Speaking with transportation unions in Ugili North local government area, alongside the council chairman, Olorogunjaro Ebo, Henry Unogwa reports.
Chief Uzo said the dispute centered on the refusal of the Union of Tippers and the Quarry Employers of Nigeria, UTQUEN, to pay haulage tickets and its attempt to create a motor park without approval from the local government and the NUTRW. He stressed that drivers in the area operated under the NUTRW regulations, adding that the UTQUEN could only set up parks if recognized by the local government. The special advisor called for calm as government finalized its position, warning that violators would face sanctions.
From today's meeting, we told the UTQUEN people that they cannot be operating in a local government without the consent of the local government authority. That is not right. They must go back and revise their footsteps and go and think how they can be working in synergy with the local government council. That is the proper way to go. That all the parks is under the local government. On the union side, we also told them that we will not finalize the matter today because there's argument between the National Union and UTQUEN. Who are the union? Who are the people existing? So we told them that we will invite them again after further consultations on the best way to approach the issue.
The union members welcomed the intervention and the pledge to maintain peace. Henry Onogwa reporting.
Christians have been encouraged to always plead for the favor of God as it makes life's journey easier. The General Overseer of the Ark of Life Prophetic Ministry, Asaba, Pastor Emmanuel Oti, gave the exhortation today at the DBS Asaba weekly prayer meeting. Violet Monye reports.
Speaking on the topic, the force of favor, and drawing insight from Exodus chapter 3 verse 21, Pastor Oti described favor as a natural atmosphere that makes life easier for those who carried it. He explained that favor made connections and contacts profitable, adding that when a person walks in divine favor, opportunities naturally align in their favor. The cleric warned that the absence of favor resulted in limitation, lack, and continuous struggle, noting that a person without favor would always experience insufficiency.
You will. It's not who you know or who you don't know. The question is this force of favor seated on your head? If it sits on your head, doors open on their own accord.
Prayers were said for the state and the nation. Violet Monyi reporting.
The federal government has said it will soon reveal the identities of individuals and networks financing terrorism in Nigeria. Special Advisor on Policy Communication to the President, Mr. Daniel Bwala, who disclosed this in an interview, said the administration was taking decisive steps to tackle national security threats. Mr. Bwala said terrorism had become a global menace requiring international cooperation. He noted that extremist activities, once concentrated in the Middle East, were now spreading to the Sahel, creating new centers of instability that demanded stronger regional and global collaboration. The presidential aide added that Nigeria was committed to countering terrorism without relying on private military contractors, stressing that state-led and coordinated responses remained the most effective approach in ensuring peace and security across the continent. The presidency has enjoined Nigerians to help monitor compliance with its directive to withdraw police escorts from high-profile individuals across the country. The President's Special Advisor on Media and Public Communication, Mr. Daniel Bwala, who made a call on television program, said citizens should document violations by capturing photographs or videos if they saw celebrities, private sector individuals, or others still using police escorts against the presidential order. He clarified that the directive did not affect officials might still have the arrangements. The security agencies, including the State Security Service and Civil Defense Corps, would provide protection where needed. The move was part of the administration's effort to rationalize police resources focus on public safety rather than the protection of high-profile individuals. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has directed all construction companies working on roads nationwide to immediately install proper and adequate road signs at every construction site. The Corps, in a statement, explained that the directive was aimed at ensuring the safety of motorists around active and inactive construction areas. It's also ordered commanding officers across the country to commence strict enforcement, warning that contractors who failed to comply would take action. The FRSC condemned the recurring failure of some construction firms to provide warning, information, and diversion signs, describing such neglect as a major cause of accidents in construction zones. It reaffirmed its commitment in ensuring that government's investments in road infrastructure translated into safer travel for all Nigerians. You're watching the Delta Television main news. Still to come, Guinea-Bissau military bans protest and strike. Details in a moment. Please stay.
If tanker wey carry fuel fall or carry fuel for underground burst, wetin you go do? You go begin bail fuel put for your bucket, or you go run comot far Now only small time you get to take this wise decision. Waka comot, no, that one no dey enough. Shift, no, that one no dey enough. Stay there dey gist and take pictures with your phone. That's na madness. Run, yes, run comot. Yes, your life depend on wetin you do. The fire go come at once and you no go fit control am. Why? Petrol dey catch fire easily. Why? Na just small spark go start big fire. So no stay there dey think. Run comot quick to save your life. No throw away your life away because of say you wan pack petrol. Take this advice. This informate na from Public Enlightenment Office, Delta Broadcast Service, Asaba.
It is more than just a home. It is a sanctuary. It is your statement. Introducing soft home interiors where luxury meets modern living. Imagine sinking into unparalleled comfort, surrounded by the finest materials and exquisite craftsmanship. Soft home interiors transforms your space into an oasis of tranquility. With our modern royal cities, Turkey and Arabian chairs with tables,
Delta Television Main News. The global scene is next. We join our World News Desk.
Guinea-Bissau's military rulers have banned protests and strikes as they tighten control ahead of a high-level visit by West Africa's ECOWAS bloc that is seeking to restore constitutional order following last week's coup. The military government, which seized power in what some West African leaders have termed a sham coup, announced that all demonstrations, strikes, and activities regarded as threat to peace and stability were prohibited. The directive also ordered public institutions, ministry and state secretariats to reopen and resume operations. The announcement followed protests in Bissau on Saturday, where hundreds, primarily youths, demand the release of detained opposition leaders and the publication of presidential election results. The mediation team from the Economic Community of West Africa States, ECOWAS, comprising the president of Togo, Cape Verde, and Senegal, along with ECOWAS Commission President, arrived Bissau today. The delegation aims to persuade the coup leaders to restore constitutional order and release the contested presidential election returns. ECOWAS has warned it may impose sanctions on individuals or groups responsible for disrupting Guinea-Bissau's electoral and democratic processes. The interim president, installed by military officer Major General Hota Ita A, said the coup was necessary to ward off a plot by narco-traffickers to capture Guinea's democracy and vowed to oversee a transition that will last 1 year, beginning immediately. The coup reflects a continued pattern of instability in Guinea-Bissau, a few cocaine transport hub with a long history of military intervention in politics. South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday dismissed U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to exclude Pretoria from next year's G20 summit, reaffirming South Africa's status as a founding member of the group. Washington boycotted the Group of 20 Leaders Summit held under South Africa's presidency in Johannesburg on November 22nd to 23rd, with Trump repeating allegations while he circulated that the host country's black majority government persecutes its white minority. Trump said last Wednesday that South Africa would not be invited to the summit to be held in Florida next year.
The maiden edition of the Delta State Macro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME Summit will take place from Wednesday, December 3 through Friday, December 5 at the Mariam Babangida Leisure The maiden edition of the Delta State Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises MSME Summit will take place from Wednesday, December 3 through Friday, December 5 at the Mariam Babangida Leisure Park, Asaba, under the auspices of the Delta State Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency, DEMSMEDA. A government statement says Governor Sheriff Oborewori will officially declare the summit open, which will be chaired by renowned banker and entrepreneur, Mr. Tony Elumelu. The statement enjoins participants and exhibitors to register via the DEMSMEDA website for the summit, which begins at 10 a.m. each day. The summit, with the theme Advancing Delta MSMEs from Vision to More Value, aims to bring together MSME operators and key stakeholders for networking, knowledge sharing, and exploring emerging business. Let's now join our sports news desk for happenings in the ever-busy world of sports.
Nigeria's The Tigers have finally ended their losing streak at the FIBA World Cup Africa qualifiers, securing a hard-fought 75-69 overtime victory against Rwanda in Tunisia. The game began poorly for Nigeria, with Rwanda taking control of the first two quarters and leading 27-25 at halftime. But the Tigers came alive in the third quarter, scoring the WAPs 20-9. Rwanda, however, refused to go away, rallying late in the fourth to tie the game 61-61 and forced overtime. In the extra period, Nigeria showed composure, pulling ahead 14-8 to seal the win and bring much-needed relief back-to-back defeats earlier in the window. It has been a mixed weekend for Nigeria. They lost 88-78 to Tunisia on Friday and 69-55 to Guinea before bouncing back against Rwanda. Warri Wolves deliver a big blow to title-chasing Nasarawa United with a narrow but crucial 1-0 victory in match day 15 of the Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL). Otuke Egbo struck as early as 5th minute, and that proved enough to hand Wolves all 3 points. The Seasiders showed grit and discipline for the rest of the match, shutting out Nasarawa United late pressure and protecting their slender win. The victory lifts Warri Wolves to 18 points, easing the tension in the lower half of the table and giving them the renewed confidence. Elsewhere, Enyimba claimed a hard-fought 2-1 win over Rangers in the Oriental Derby in Aba. The result keeps middle table extremely tight, with 7 clubs separated by just 3 points. At the summit, Ikorodu City continued their strong run. The Abia Warrior won courtesy of Chidera Okbarocha 69th minute finish, moving level with Nasarawa United on 27 points. In Yenagua, Bayelsa United and Kaduna United shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw. Newcomers Kun Khalifat FC continued their impressive rise, defeating Plateau United 2-0 with goals from Lekon Gabriel and Harry Ezonye from the penalty spot. And in Ibadan, Shooting Stars held firm in the top 4 chase, beating Academy Warrior 1-0. Henry Usiayu reporting.
That's our bulletin for tonight. Just before we go, here is a thought. Never give up on what you really want to do. The person with big dreams is more powerful than one with all the facts. To end our main news, here are the highlights. President Bola Tinubu has reaffirmed that the security and welfare of Nigerians remain the top priorities of his administration. Speaking in Lokoja at the 10th memorial anniversary of the late Kogi State Governor Prince Abubakar Audu, President Tinubu, represented by the Minister of Information Alhaji Mohammed Idris, highlighted ongoing measures to strengthen national security, including expanding the capacity and capabilities of the armed forces. The federal government has said it will soon reveal the identities of individuals and networks financing terrorism in Nigeria. Special Advisor on Policy Communication to the President, Mr. Daniel Bwala, who disclosed this in an interview, said the administration was taking decisive steps to tackle national security threats. Governor Sheriff Oboriwori has called for increased resource mobilization through corporate social responsibility initiatives and the goodwill of individuals to bridge funding gaps in HIV treatment and prevention in Delta State. And from the foreign scene, we reported that Guinea-Bissau military bans protest and strike. So much for Delta Television News tonight. On behalf of the news editor and the production team, this is Omobe Iyarowe. Thanking you for watching and wishing you a very